Okay, so I thought it was one card, but there's actually another one when I picked it up. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Strength card upright. There's a need to be emotionally strong right now. And it's to do with a withdrawal from a family situation. So this is to do with security, wealth, money, assets. If the Ten of Pentacles was upright, I'd say like you and another person have accrued lasting generational wealth and very successfully. When it's reversed, I think that's being divided. I would read that as you going through a separation and, dealing with solicitors, having to divide assets, divide savings, income. It's tough times at the moment. Major for Leo with the Strength card, but it's more about, you not trying not to lose your temper, trying not to get over emotional, trying to not display, like a lion would display their strength, and prowl and flex. And it's like trying not to do that, trying to control emotions rather than be physically strong, trying to be emotionally strong. Hi, OMR MTB. I'm good, thanks. I'm just tired, like I was saying before, but another day or two will be right in the swing of half term, I reckon. It's the changing season. Hi, Preethan. Okay, we've got the Seven of Cups. So this has been at a crossroads. It's when you are either in a relationship or marriage, or you've just come out of one, and you're trying to determine where you're going with your life next. It's a bit like if you ever thought, like, let's have a day out, and you get in the car and you're like, oh, I wish I'd sat and like had a think about where we're gonna go, because I've got no idea. This is like I've got no idea where I'm going next with my life, kind of thing, after this separation. Hi, cool gangs. It's not playing cards, it's tarot. Do I look like I'm playing cards? Where are the diamonds? Where are the hearts, the spades, the clubs? I'm not playing cards. It's a tarot reading. It says what it is in the title. It's a love spread. So you can watch your sign or the sign of the person that you're dealing with. The King of Cups reversed and the Nine of Pentacles upright. Yeah, so if the King of Cups was upright, it'd be someone who is feeling patient, emotionally intelligent, calm, forgiving, very much in control of their emotions. Okay. When that's reversed, the heart chakra is quite blocked. Okay, so it's natural to feel like this and to feel bitterness, resentment, to be hurt, to be pissed off. Depending on whether this is a separation that you've chosen, whether it's amicable or not, whether it's you instigating it or not, does affect the amount of pain. But it's generally, it's always upsetting, like, for everyone concerned. Now we've got the Nine of Pentacles upright, so 9 is like a single energy number. Like 9 of Pentacles upright is you have got enough to survive on your own, okay? You don't need someone else to provide for you. You are abundant, you have some sort of like good salary, you have some kind of savings or assets that you're gonna be able to withdraw from this situation. You're not going to be left without. No, it's not a live Q&A. You don't make personal readings. A collective reading is when I do a reading for your zodiac sign, and anyone who is a Virgo or anyone who is a Sagittarius, it should resonate for them. You can have a private reading if you wish, but you have to pay for that. It's £18. You can email me the information's in the channel description. Collective readings should resonate. I can't 100% say why. It's to do with certain life lessons and certain qualities that we're building in ourselves in our lifetime. They seem to be similar, according to when we're born, which is why we do readings by zodiac sign, by the month that you're born, because that determines your character, right? So these are the things that we're learning in our lifetime as a collective. I don't know much more than that. I just know that it resonates for me when I watch other readers and they do readings for Taurus, and I'm a Taurus. What they say is going on between me and my person, it resonates more often than not. And I can't 100% explain it, but it's the same thing with any kind of spirituality or religion, There's different rules for which to live by, but it's a kind of guidance, isn't it? There's no 100% proof of anything. But there's definitely a place for tarot. I like that you're interested, I'm an omnist, so I love to study religions and I accept the presence of all religions. So as long as people are respectful about mine, I'm very happy to have you here. Okay, so Sagittarius, your person showing up with the Temperance reverse, that's your major arcana. They're really struggling. They could have depression at the moment. They could be bad-tempered. They could have periods where they feel okay or periods where they feel extremely low. They're not feeling good at all at the moment, so okay, Ace of Wands could be a desire for a rebirth. The Page of Wands is, for me, someone embarking on a new journey. A page is someone that's never walked this journey before. This isn't a page, this is an Ace of Wands, so I take this as a rebirth. Having passion for starting over, having a desire to, give things another go, to repair what's been damaged, to recover this marriage, or very, very, committed relationship with assets and potentially children involved. So it looks like that's what they've considered. Oh my god, you need to go and take your medicine, love. Don't know why you're typing stuff like that in here. That's just a classic example of people. I don't know like what can be achieved by that other than trying to upset others. It's like going into an AA meeting and kicking over people's chairs. Like, what are you doing? People are here just trying to like fathom what they're going through and why they're trying to be a better version of themselves and like process difficult emotions. We're not trying to hurt anyone or do anything. I might have a picture of a cat with a witch's hat on, but it's because it's Halloween. I'm not a witch, guys. I ain't a witch. Like, I'm tired of being called a demon. Oh my god. People are mad, aren't they? Right, okay. So, we're on Sagittarius. It looks like there's a divorce or separation going on. This person's at a crossroads. As in, you are at a crossroads, Sagittarius, and yeah, it's really taking its toll on your emotions. However, financially, you are going to be okay. You're going to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. It looks like your person is really struggling with their emotions, and they've considered having a rebirth. They would like to repair the situation. How disgusting to come in and say, can I just like, how disgusting to come in and say that you wish harm against people that are doing tarot. I would never say that to someone because they believe in something different to me. I wouldn't say I wish harm upon them. That's disgusting. You can understand like why I get angry because I don't wish harm on other people. People come to me by choice. They enjoy tarot. They've decided that they want to know more about it and that it's resonating with them for whatever reason. It's helping them. It's nice messages that help people to heal from like heartbreak and stuff. It's nothing terrible. To come in and wish me harm for doing this is absolutely vile. Absolutely disgusting. I'm more protected than that person because that person going around being a demon, never mind me being a demon, they're calling people all sorts, wishing them harm. Wow. Disgusting. The High Priestess reversed. This person's having a crisis of faith. Often when we're going through really hard times, we think, well, why is life this hard? Why is everything so difficult? I'm not going to get through this, like, what's going to happen to me? Or like, why is this happening? Like a victim mentality, or feeling like everything's just got too much, feeling like it's never going to get better. It's being overwhelmed. When we get overwhelmed, we lose faith that everything's going to be all right, that everything's going to sort out, that, that this has some sort of purpose to it. Even painful events have some sort of purpose to them. We have to take life's rough with the smooth. The High Priestess it's heavy Pisces energy, it's water energy, and it's about feeling your way through and trying to go with your gut, trying to know what the divine plan is, what feels right to go for now. And even if something's scary or there's lots of unknowns, we proceed anyway, right? Because our gut's telling us to do it. This person really struggling to sort of follow their own judgment and trust their own judgment now. To trust their third eye. Let's get 3 for the outcome. I'm not only going to block that person, I'm going to report them as well, because that is disgusting. To wish harm on people. The Nine of Swords upright is not being able to sleep at night. This is what's in the outcome as of this final week of October. The sleepless nights, okay, there's tossing and turning, grinding teeth, you know, clenched jaw, feeling tight in the chest, sweating, just really going over everything mentally. Oh, hi Roderick, you're watching from New Zealand, that's cool. This is for Sagittarius Collective. I'll be doing Capricorn, Aquarius and Pisces after this. Okay, in the outcome, we've got the Empress reversed. Sorry, the Empress upright, in fact. So that's a really nice card to get. The Empress is someone that attracts, okay? She does not chase. It's the major arcana that's shared by Libra and Taurus. The Empress is someone who's able to regenerate and rebuild from zero as many times as she needs to. You can see the wheat fields behind her. You can see like orchards, you know, she's picked fruit. There's light beaming out from behind her. She's literally pregnant, but she's also pregnant with ideas, pregnant with possibility. So she will always have an abundant life. Even, you know, the Empress has ups and downs. She is just human like everyone else, but she's able to rebuild and regenerate and be productive, okay, every time. That's upright, so that's good. Someone, whether it's you or this person, or maybe it represents both of you, will be able to regenerate, okay? I mean, you're showing up as the King of Cups reversed. So, I don't know if it's them or you. Let's get one more. So we've got the Devil, which is the major arcana for Capricorn, and we've got the Two of Wands. There's an obsessive thinking when it comes to planning. What do I want for myself? How do I make a plan? What goals have I got for myself, A or B? Do I stay or do I go? Do I go left or right? There's an obsession with, you know, ruminating on what is the next plan, what is the next step, what are my goals that I'm going to create for myself. There's a lot of sleepless nights because it's time to rebuild and regenerate, okay? So it's not a time of getting a good night's sleep, it's a time of like tossing and turning that could last weeks or months, you know, quite heavy. Let's get no contact messages from them. So this is what they would say to you if they're not talking to you right now. Let the past go. Can we rewind time and go back to before we were both broken down by life? Our pasts hold us back from our future. Yeah, I do get that feeling that they've considered trying to undo this separation. But I think it's gone too far for that. They've definitely doubted their judgment, their choices. To be honest, like, it's awful when someone's breaking up with you, but to know that they have doubted their own decision, it's something, do you know what I mean? If someone's just so sure and they never look back, it's like, what the hell? It was just that easy, was it? You're that confident, are you, that like this is the right thing? Like, to me, like it does help if that's like something that's happened where someone's thought, is this right? Or like, did we decide this too soon? It counts for something. Of course it does. Okay, so this is a soulmate. It's a sacred connection, okay? So I don't know if it was supposed to come to an end, or yeah, it's just a contract that is very important to both of you, but it has expired. Very, very difficult to get closure when you've actually had a life together, you've lived together, you've built, you know, strong financial buttresses together and created abundance. You know, that's impressive. By anyone's standards, that's impressive. That involves decades of, you know, getting up, going to work every day, being a team. A lot's being cultivated, a lot's being achieved, you know, more than enough. It's a life to be proud of. So, of course, this person's going to have second thoughts. Of course, it's going to be a huge toll on both of you to separate. So, let's get messages from them. Oh, God, I can't even look at you right now. You know, 5 is like a negative number in tarot. 5 of Wands is arguments. 5 of Swords is, you know, nasty words being exchanged. 5 of Pentacles is like a lack of time, money, or energy. 5 of Cups is grief, sadness, loss, regret. They're in like immense pain. Hi, Jahir. Hi, Francis. It's not a live Q&A, it's a collective reading, so you don't ask me anything, you just watch and you see if it resonates. You can chat, but you're not supposed to ask personal questions. Sunglasses. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. You know, this is somebody, you know, like in like movies where it's like a funny movie and they have the FBI like mowing the lawn and they've got these particular sunglasses on. And then there'll be like someone that's like cutting the hedge and they'll have these particular glasses on, and then you realise everyone on the street is like FBI. This person is, they're finding it difficult to be away from you. They want to know what's going on. When you're living in a family home and you're part of a family unit, you are the hub of everything that's happening. So if if you have to move out or you choose to move out, you're not in the circle of trust anymore, you know, like the Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents movie. There's a circle of trust, isn't there? And whoever's living in that household is trusted with all kinds of information. They're completely up to date with goings on, events that are happening, special occasions, just necessary appointments and whatnot. That is part of like being in a family unit, and when you move out, you're not privy to that information. You're the last one to know everything. And I think that's something this person is really struggling with. They may even say that they're fine, but they're not fine. Let's get confessions from them. You are wifey, husband material. Well, we know that. In case they do respect you as a spouse, they know that you are a good wife, a good husband, a good mother or father. Okay. You are the only one I see. I think you're very funny. I don't feel like I'm good enough for you. Okay, so they definitely hold you in high regard. Okay, it's not a sense of you're not good enough to be with. It's nothing to do with that. Okay, why this is over. They do miss having a laugh with you. They know that you're very good as a homemaker or a provider, a partner, a parent. They know that. I think they feel like they let you down, honestly. It's a very self-deprecating personality. I mean, if this is how they feel, what was the reason for separating? Narcissist, pregnancy. Someone's too full of themselves. Someone's expecting. Now, don't take that literally. It doesn't have to be that someone's pregnant, but, you know, this can often mean like new cycles, new chapters, just newness. And we've got that Ace of Wands. Someone's too full of themselves. They could have narcissistic tendencies. You know, you can have narcissistic tendencies without being a full-blown, you know, crazy narcissist. Let's dig and see what went on. What were the issues? Because it does look like they're confused and hurt about separating. So there must have been initial thought that this is something that needs to happen by you, by them, by both of you. Tangled web, convoluted justifications, caught up, entranced. So they started to look elsewhere. Okay. They could have told a lot of lies. This is why they could feel like they're not good enough for you, okay? Because there's a sense of guilt and a sense of remorse. They know that they've been selfish. I feel like we've just been trauma dumped on. There's a lot of cards that have just come out there. Celestial grace. In special moments, feel the blessed touch of the divine guiding your path. Faith's haven. Believe in the safety of your return as every journey leads back to comfort. That's a nice way to think of it, isn't it? Like when we're struggling, it's just because we're part of the way along a journey. By the time we get back, we'll reach safety again. That's a nice way to think about it. Lone path, needing to take time out or be on your own for a while. Deeper waters, step out of your comfort zone and explore new depths. Ticking clock, let love unfold naturally and give it time to grow. Council's compass. Seek advice to steer judgment as insightful talks illuminate your journey. I think this person could be mulling things over with people that they know, trusted, confidants. I don't think they're going to be gossiping with everyone that'll listen. But I think this person, is feeling so overwhelmed that they must be looking for some sort of guidance because they don't trust their own gut, they don't trust their own judgment. They're sort of understanding of why everything happens for a reason that's out the window at the moment. They've really felt lost. So they're going to look for some sort of port in a storm from someone who's older, like a parent or a colleague that's been through a separation, or maybe, we obviously look to tarot, and it's strangers, but it does help you to sit and reflect and isolate yourself and contemplate things. What was the reason that it started to not work, if I'm honest? What was my part? What was their part? There's a lot to be said for talking things through. And if you've got patterns of behaviour and you don't understand them, then maybe you can also go to someone who's more professional and who can help you to unpick that. We don't always want to talk about, if it's to do with childhood and any traumas that we believe we're carrying, you're not necessarily going to want to open up to people about that because you access things that take you to a very vulnerable space. And if you're a parent, you don't want to be vulnerable in front of your kids. You want to be strong in front of them. You don't necessarily want partners to know certain stuff. Definitely don't choose most of your colleagues to open up to. Sometimes yes, but and some friends don't get it at all. And the most random people are really good listeners, they're really good to talk to, but whether it's a professional or someone in their immediate environment, they're definitely discussing this because they feel really confused with what they've done and where to go next. They're definitely thinking about the good times. They've considered undoing the separation. And there's just a lot of ruminating and a lot of obsessive kind of thinking. Hater. They could view you as being incredibly angry with them, someone that they've got involved with, whilst being married to you, could be very angry with them, like a third party. Love affair, secrecy, third party, hooking up, STDs. So they've likely cheated, okay? Some of you, they may have just texted someone and that is enough of a betrayal to be emotionally cheating and contemplating hooking up with someone, flirting with someone beyond, a bit of banter in work. It's like getting someone's number or getting their social media, something like that. It's gone further, and it may have got to the point where there's fooling around or hooking up. They've got a lot of guilt because they know that you didn't deserve that. That you've been a good partner to them. Our connection is intense and it scares me. Do you ever think of me too? There's a lot of emotion here. You might think, well, fuck them if they've done that, you know, and it might breed a lot of contempt, a lot of hate to find out, but it's like doesn't change how intensely they feel for you or how much value they place on what's being achieved over the years. Yeah, they're really feeling at a loss. They're so confused, like, what they're doing and why they're doing it, and whether, you know, they've, like, just fucked up the best thing that ever happened to them. But, I mean, why do people cheat? You know, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. If you're happy where you are, you don't consider doing stuff like that. So it's kind of running away from the elephant in the room, isn't it? Something was when everything was fine and there hadn't been cheating and you were together and it was picture perfect, according to everyone, you know, that can see you in a public union, very committed union. There's been something making this person put everything on the line. So they weren't perfectly happy. This is what we do when we feel lost. We kind of put rose-tinted glasses on and we go, why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. But you do know why you did it. Something wasn't right for you anymore, you know? It doesn't mean that you regret the connection. It doesn't mean that you regret what was achieved or the years that you've put into it, because that is an achievement. By anyone's standards, being together for many years and building up lasting generational wealth takes time, dedication, trust, loyalty. But connections do expire, contracts do come to an end. And sometimes both of you feel it, and sometimes only one of you's feeling that way. But it's like they've gone round in a circle and they're back to like romanticising things again and being wistful about it, nostalgic about it, wanting to undo what they've done. But you can't really go back, can you? I don't know. What was the reason that they started to look outside the relationship? Because if that's still there, then this is just them clinging on to a comfort blanket rather than facing facts that this has evolved beyond a certain point. And it's not really a situation where we can just go back, is it? I think the guilt makes people want to undo it because then they're like, I won't have to feel guilty anymore. It's not that they'll be happy, it's that they won't feel guilty anymore. Do you know what I mean? It makes them not be as much of a shit person in their mind. Like, why do people break up in boyfriend and girlfriend scenarios and feel hella guilty doing the dumping because they can see they really hurt someone? And then they go, well, just forget it. I didn't mean it. It was just like, you know, I was being silly. Didn't mean it. They end up breaking up with them again a few weeks later because the reason they undid the breakup is because they felt bad. It's not because they didn't mean it. They didn't like seeing you in pain, you know? They didn't like how it makes them feel, so what's going to happen if you accept this person back and you say, great, we'll give it another go? They're going to start moping again in a few months when they've got all their comfort back, when it feels like they're back in the circle, and they haven't got to worry about finances anymore. Are they going to start moping or looking elsewhere? It would be very difficult to recover. Some people do, don't they? Some people do recover. But the thought of like them turning around and being like, nah, I do want to end it. It's just, oh, I hate it because I've been there. And I have also been that person that does the breaking up and then tries to undo it. And then has to re-break up with the pit, and you just feel like a piece of shit. It's not nice. You're doing it because you don't want to be on your own. I mean, that was a boyfriend and girlfriend scenario. Can't imagine what it's like when you're trying to divide assets and then someone messes with your head and they're like, well, maybe we should just stay together. My head would be scrambled. I really want to get you some advice, to be honest. What's your advice for Sagittarius, please, when it comes to this connection? Stillness. In calm waters, everything becomes clear. Well, that's true. That's very true. It's not really a good idea to sort of make a decision and then immediately go back on it, because you could be doing it out of blind panic. You could be doing it because it hurts to separate and it's going to be sad and it's going to be different and you don't like the change. It's like, I've just started a new job and I feel really drained because on the one hand, I'm happy because I think it's a great workplace that I found. I think I've landed on my feet, to be quite honest. It's a really good place, but I was so nervous the day before, and in your mind, until you get that job and until you've been in it a few months, you kind of wish your old workplace would be like, do you know what, we could just really do with, because it's familiar and you already know the structures there, you already know the people, you've already built up a good relationship with them. Sometimes we want to go back because it's easier, and it skips all the draining, like, being nervous, being fearful, not having any kind of knowledge over what something's going to be like, fear of the unknown. It's not good to like make that decision and then immediately undo it. You've got to let things settle and really have a think about it and think, am I just shit scared? Am I just trying to use this relationship or marriage as a comfort blanket? Because I'm messing people about doing that. Am I doing it because I'm not confident that I will have enough finances, to become single again? Well, you shouldn't be with someone for a financial reason. How sad is that you're with someone because financially you don't think you can cope without them, that you're not like in love with them anymore? That's so weird. Finances recover, things change, preparation meets opportunity. The only certainty in life is change. Everything's changing all the time. Budgets are being created, each like quarter of the year. Money's becoming available for different opportunities. People become unwell and, things occur that are not anticipated. And unfortunately, that means opportunities for other people, but you can't just look at how things are now and make decisions based off that. You've got to let things settle and let circumstances change and evolve and develop. And You make new goals for yourself and you work towards them. That's how you mentally stop yourself from doing somersaults. You've got to create new goals and go for them. If you can't get past someone after a significant amount of time, maybe you're going to appreciate the connection more and you're going to get back together. You know, when the pain's past, when the resentment's past, when you're both feeling stronger, if you still hold that person in high regard, there's nothing to say that you can't get back together. That's what you both want. But you might decide you want that and they might say, sorry, like you hurt me too much and I've healed, but yeah, I don't want to go back. I can't. I'm a different person now. Experiences like this kind of like change who you are. Do you know what I mean? You have to kind of develop yourself. It's like personal development happens in these times of challenge and extreme hardship or adversity. In the face of adversity, you know, we are tempered into something very different because it's the pressure, it's the having to rise up to the occasion, you know, and we find like who we are and we become better at being independent. And it's just sometimes we're like, oh, I can't be bothered with all that, like that feels like a bit lonely, or that feels like really challenging, and I'd rather just undo what I've done. I like that. In calm waters, everything becomes clear. I love this. This is doesn't go with the Halloween theme, but it's the Sea Melodies deck by Jessica Lee. It's got really very clear advice. Very simple, very clear. It doesn't mess with you, that one. Remembrance. Well, that's cool. It makes me think of like Apache and like, you know, like Turkey. Like Thanksgiving vibes. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul and body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. Oh my god, that's actually a bit spooky how relevant that is. That's something really nice that Spirit's picked out for us. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we've gone through as a soul and body, providing us with valuable information and tools. You know, I can't tell you the number of times I've had a relationship end and it gets easier to recover. The more times that you have to do something, the more you kind of click into that muscle memory and you're confident that everything will be all right. It still hurts, but there isn't that intense like paralysis that comes from being frozen with fear and thinking what's going to happen to me. You don't go into that kind of despair. You don't go into places like that after the first couple of times. First breakup when you're like 17, 18 is horrible. It's like crying till you're sick, like Romeo and Juliet. You know, can't be without this person, they're my soulmate and all this. It's sad in a way to have to keep getting over people, but you get better at it because you've had to do it before and it's been all right in the end. And it's always going to be all right. So as well, like if you're someone that kind of loathes being single and you think it's terrible to be single, it's not. you actually become so independent and so level and so balanced, and you only have to answer to yourself. You can please yourself quite a lot, you know. There's no one to kind of disagree with you or trying to strong arm you. You're not having to compromise all the time. It's quite a nice thing. It's quite addicting. You know what you're getting, you know. You can settle into singlehood and really find your feet with it and enjoy it. And it's quite nice not to to be independent and not to feel it's lovely being in a relationship, but you get too used to that person doing things for you or lifting your suitcase into the boot or you know, and you feel so horrible when that goes and that person's not there doing those chivalrous things for you anymore. It makes you feel really weak and pathetic, and then you're like, God, I kind of feel a bit disgusted with myself that I'm craving that, and then just get used to doing everything yourself, and you think, "Oh, I'm so independent, I'm so you know, a globe trotter, and I'm this and I'm that." And there's something really nice about it, because no one can take that away from you. When you're in a relationship, all it takes is that person to decide they're not happy today. They've decided suddenly, out of nowhere, they want to separate, and it's like, you didn't see it coming. It's the most horrific thing ever. When you're single, you're not waiting for days like that to come, you know, or getting caught off guard completely. Like, where's this coming from? This horrible shock, this sense of abandonment. You're not getting any of that. Your days are quite calm and fun, and you with your friends, and there just isn't drama. There isn't drama, so I think that's really nice. That I really like that. This is the coming of age. This is where you find out who you are in this next chapter, Sagittarius. I've got a scar on my wrist, and it's a bit dark in here, but in daylight you can see it, and it's my boyfriend and I split up, and it just wasn't working. You know, we had very big differences between our families, and I had to get my suitcase out of the car in the rain and the cold, and it was dark, and normally he would have been there helping me with it, and it landed on my wrist, and it was quite a bad injury. It split my skin all the way open, and you could see the flesh, and it was like a clean cut and everything, but I felt really sorry for myself, and I just thought this is rubbish. I've got to you know, do everything by myself, and I hate, you know, being single. And it healed up, and it's I've been so fine for years since then, and I quite like that it's there as a reminder, you know what I mean? Scars heal, you get stronger again, and then you're not even I prefer myself when I'm not craving stuff. I feel so weak after a relationship ends. I feel like a husk of myself, because you go all soppy, and you go all girly, and you love someone doing everything for you. But then when it gets taken away, you're such a weak version of yourself. It's kind of gross. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking get over it. You don't need people to do things. It's nice to have that, but it's a horrible feeling when someone leaves you and all that stuff that you were getting from them, you're never getting anymore. And often you've not done a thing to deserve it. Their feelings changed. You know, you're lucky to get a fucking 5-minute conversation about it. Yes, but don't force it. It's possible to recover this if you want to in the future. But the advice is to take some stillness. Look at those leopard print shoes. Look at what that person went looking for. Look what they're putting on you, like, you know, getting all upset over like what they've lost. Try and become like independent of this situation and continue your life, your sole purpose, your who and what you're supposed to be in this life is going to continue to be a journey. The journey didn't end because you met this person. Your journey, your personal story is continuing. So aren't you curious, like, where that's going to take you? Even if you never married again, even if, you know, you just kind of like explored what's out there after a year of eat, pray, love, you know, you just dated people, like, you're in control of your life going forwards. You don't have to. You don't have to know what you want right now. You haven't got to answer to someone that's stepped out of the marriage, have you? How are you supposed to know how you feel about something? You could feel a kind of way today, and then tomorrow you could think, no, I don't want them back. And then a week later you could think, well, you know, finances are difficult, we're missing out on a lot. And then another week later you could be pissed off to fuck. It's like, how are you supposed to feel like consistently a kind of way about something? You're going to be all over the place, so let things calm down so that you can see clearly and make a decision like what it is that you want without being pressured into taking them back or forgiving them or this or that. Because sometimes people want that, not because they don't want the stilettos and the excitement, but they don't want to feel like they're an asshole anymore. So we're not getting back with someone so they don't have to feel guilty anymore. We're not doing that. It's your call, but let things cool off. Nothing wrong with that. Eclipse. Dance with your shadows, discover hidden aspects of yourself in the darkness. There you go. We don't have to hide from shadows, you know, like learn to be comfortable in them. And it's okay to feel like heavy emotions, dark emotions, to be pissed off, to be resentful, to feel like a lack of trust. It's okay to feel those feelings and let them pass, you know, and come out of it. And it's okay to take your time to think about what you want. Sometimes we do shadow work to think, well, maybe, you know, maybe there's something that I can like do better next time, you know, as well as them doing better with their stuff. Or maybe this contract has just come to an end and no one's perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can admit that in my most serious relationship, I did goad my partner because they weren't making the decisions that I wanted them to, and I added pressure where they were already really, really pressurized. Um, I'm definitely not perfect, do you know what I mean? And I think I could have been more understanding. I think I was quite understanding because I have been in his situation and I have been judged by a partner heavily for not being able to, you know, just get a different job and earn more money, or like stop going on about, you know, having an identity crisis, you know, when you leave one career and then you think, well, who am I? Because that was how that's you know, what I thought I was or who I thought I was doing that role or whatever, been in that field or whatever. So I was very supportive, and I think that probably triggered me, the fact that I was giving him all this support and offering for him to, you know, not stay in a job that he hated and that he wouldn't let me do it. But it's like, I'm definitely not a jerk. Like, I wanted the best for him, but I think I added more pressure, and so I do regret that a bit. But we can only do what we think is right at the time, you know, and we're just humans trying to figure shit out as we go along. You're not a perfect person. On reflection, I don't think there's loads that I would change. There's some stuff that I would change. But it is what it is, isn't it? That's why we need to let the waters calm down, because at the end of the day, something clashed, something wasn't a good match. The way I deal with problems was very different to how he deals with problems. I've changed careers a lot, I changed jobs a lot. If I'm not happy somewhere, I've always been told that it's okay to leave. He was always told, you stay where you are. You know, it's part of his culture, being Italian, and it's part of his family's like belief. So, you know, he asked his parents, should I leave my job? And they said no. So there was like a big clash, and then it created more pressure. So maybe we weren't as perfect as what I thought, but I don't know, like, I don't have all the answers. But you can rose tint things, and you can be really hard on yourself and say, I've done X, Y, or Z, or why did I leave? But then if you look at it and you're honest, there was some clash over personality, or there was some clash over how you approach, you know, situations to solve them. It doesn't make you bad people, and I think it's really easy to villainize the other person and victimize yourself, but really you're just two people that clashed, or, you know, something, some sort of choice forced you to eventually part, you know, and that's just, it's sad and it's a shame, but eventually get to a point where you can appreciate all the good times. You feel grateful that you had, you know, so many positive memories. You know, you can smile thinking about it. Like, I think when it comes to something like this, obviously you can't now, but at some point, you know, this is in the bank, all these years together, all the memories, all the stuff that was achieved and built, that's in the bank, and no future relationship can take that away or undo it. That was a lot achieved. So sometimes, like, thinking about things in that way, you know, what is that compared? That's nothing, is it? That's nothing. That was a moment. That was a stupid, you know, like, temptation. It's not the same as 20 years plus of building and growing and working together cooperatively. That's nothing, is it? So I don't think it's time lost when you break up. I think what's achieved was achieved, it's banked, and then time healing, time making new patterns, new processes, that's not time wasted. I used to view it as time wasted and be like, well, that was a waste of time and it's all thrown in the bin. It's not, is it? It's not, because this is the pathway now that's going to take you on to your next chapter, and it's going to be the making of you. So it's all valid. Every single bit of it is valid. Every day survived, every day feeling like it doesn't hurt quite as much is progress. I don't think anything is wasted, honestly. I don't. Hi, Ikrara. Or is it Ikra Rashid? Ikra. When people put like both the names together, I don't know where it starts and where it finishes. So sorry if I like made a name. Up and out. To heal the parts of me that feel hurt, I must feel every emotion. It has to come up to come out. I don't try to push my feelings away. I sit with them and feel them as I release them. Have a damn good cry about it, okay? Allow yourself to express how this feels. It's very unhealthy to push it down and repress it or pretend that you're not hurting. People will be expecting this. People want to be there for you, Sagittarius, so allow it. And that's advice for the cross-watcher as well. There's nothing healthy about pretending everything's fine when it's not. That just leads to manifesting illness in the body, in the physical sense, as well as poor mental health. People will be waiting in the wings, ready to be there for you. Of course they will. I'm not gonna look at like when new love would come in because I don't think that's appropriate. Given the circumstances, I think we'll avoid that. Obviously, there's going to be healing going on for the next, year, few years. Some people never get over stuff like this, though. Let's get some good fortune cards and an angel number. A hidden talent will bring you great success. Nice. A sacred symbol will bring you protection and guidance. Okay. Your creative energies are in full bloom. Express yourself. Your spirit guides are near. Seek their guidance. That's really nice. So there could be someone that's passed that you kind of miss having their shoulder to cry on, or you miss going and talking to them. They're near you. Don't think they're not. They're in the same room as you. They know everything that's going on. And they know that everything's going to be all right as well. We can't see the future as humans, but people that are past and had an ego death, okay, they don't have negative judgment on other people anymore. And they can also see the future, like way, way into the future. So it's possible to get answers from them. The path ahead is illuminated. Follow the light. You've got a lot of guidance here. It's really nice. A mystical encounter will change your path. Be prepared. You could meet someone, You could meet someone new and you're not expecting it, and you're just like, whoa, this is miraculous. Like, this is crazy. It's so unexpected. It's magical. A mysterious message will reveal your true path. Ooh. That's cool. I like that. This is a long-ass reading. We'll have to post this in 2 parts on TikTok. It's the longest one I've done, I think, ever. But it's heavy. It's heavy stuff. Good luck. Oh, that's nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck. Spirit guides, progress, justice, structures, systems, processes, conditioning, and rules. You are on the right track. Someone from the other side. That's getting to me, that, because that's what I said. And then it's written on here as well. Someone from the other side has your back and encourages you to try your best. You will succeed. Observe your surroundings and communicate clearly. Be sure that everything will fall to pieces, okay? So you'll be trying to build new structures, new routines, new processes. It won't be easy. There's going to be some, some transition period, like trying things out. It doesn't work, okay? Change it up. you will find like a new flow. It's okay if you haven't got the answer for everything right now. It's okay. Okay, that's the message. Right, take care. I hope this reading resonates for some Sagittarians out there. Please give it a like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel, hype the channel. We are about to hit 3,000 subscribers. I think YouTube are going to review my number of watch hours on Tuesday. So hoping to make memberships available from then. And what's the other thing? You'll be able to do super chats as well. I don't know if I'm going to do a shop, honestly. If it's effort, I won't do it because I'm a full-time high school teacher. But yeah, memberships will be available imminently. So in these, you will get a monthly business, education and finance reading, which are very, very popular. And sort of health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, Native American Indian medicine wheel once a month as well. And I will be creating like how to read tarot, what the tarot cards mean, a very methodical like explanation rather than, you know, me. I always talk about the cards that come up in your readings as they come out, but this would be like very methodical as well, so you get that information about reading tarot, because I know a lot of people are interested in learning tarot that are just coming into it, so you get all that with your membership. And at certain times of the year might throw in, you know, other perks as well. If you're interested in a private reading, for £18, you'll get sent a link to a YouTube video that only you can see. You can watch the video as many times as you want at your leisure. If it's a love reading, it will be this length of reading, which is excellent value for money. Turnaround time is 24 hours this week, usually 48 hours now that I'm back at work. And I've got testimonials from, you know, my regular clients that get readings from me there on the community page. So if you're considering a private reading, have a little look at those. They are very, very happy. It's given them a lot of like extra information, a sense of timing, when they might hear from the person, where the person's at. So the difference between a personal reading and a collective, sometimes the collective resonate a lot. More often than not, they do. So they're very, you know, they're very valid. I wouldn't get personal readings too often, but you may get more personalised, or you certainly will get more personalised information about your person's particular issues and what's governing their thoughts and their feelings and where they're at. Because that's very individual. Like, your circumstances change on an individual basis, don't they? So timing can be more accurate, and explanations for behaviour, thought processes can be so accurate. It's creeped people out, honestly. They're like, I'm blown away, literally blown away, because it's so, you've described them perfectly and like their situation as well. So yeah. I need to open a window, I'm boiling. The heating's definitely on.